Hello, how you doing again? Brady here. So we're gonna do another video. Today we're just gonna do the boundaries. So I'm doing a 2D shooter. So there's gonna be a left and a right, and then a forward and a back boundary. I don't want my character just to keep flying forever to the right, because right now with how the code is, that's what will happen. There's no set rules for how far the character can go forward, backwards, or side to side, because the player space is actually pretty infinite. But you guys, the camera for the actual person who's playing can only see a portion of it. So we're going to go ahead and set that today. So let me. So we, I've already went ahead and I already opened up the script. I've already moved to the appropriate folder and then did the pull from my repository. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now in the game, as you can see, I can go up infinitely and then I'm off the screen, but I'm still actually traveling. I can go down past what you can see, still traveling, and then same thing for the side, Um, same thing. So I am going to go ahead and change that. I forgot to save that as 10. I'm going to actually change that today. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to write some if statements. We're going to write ifs and then if else. So that's what we're going to do. And we'll do that now because that's what we're gonna do. Because we need to say if my object goes to above a certain position, so above a point where I hit Y, it's gonna stop going. And then what's gonna happen there if it goes to another point? What's gonna happen? And same thing side to side. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. So we are looking for. Oops, let me start this. We're looking for the limits that we want. So I already know what I want. Um, but let's look for Y, which is the forward and the back, which we can see being addressed here. I don't want the character to go more than halfway up, so I'm going to do a 1. Uh, and then the lower limit for that is just above the bottom. So we'll do 3.8, so it's a little off the bottom, and then far left, um, -9 is close enough here on the x-axis, and then so far right more likely is going to be a 9, which again I already know. It's going to keep it off the wall a little bit, but I don't want the player to fly into the wall. So those are going to be our limits for a y greater than or equal to 1, and the else if is going to be less than or equal to 3.8 down here, and then for the x it's going to be greater than or equal to 9, or less than or equal to -9. Now, or -9 then 9, sorry. Now there are ways to make it so that way if I can wrap to this side, but I don't want to do that. I want the player limited within inside the border. So we're going to go ahead and move into uh, writing that script. All right, so we are going to start with the y-axis. Um, so we'll start with the if, and we're going to start with the greater than or equals to 1. So we're going to type if transform dot, and we're doing position, and then dot y, because that's the axis we're messing with, so we're going to do greater than or equals to 1, close parentheses, and enter. Then we need brackets here, and then we need to define that. So t transform, sorry, transform dot position, uh, dot position equals new vector. It's right there. And now this thing is gonna. This is. I didn't. I shouldn't have done that. This is gonna be a little bit different. So we need to keep x value the same, and we're just transforming the y value. So to do that, we're gonna do transform dot position dot x, so that way x doesn't change, and then the value for y, which is right now we're going to be 1, and then the z value. And then we can close that. And then now we need to do an else if. So if it is not greater than or equals to 1, what's going to happen? That's our top limit. What's our bottom limit? Else if, the same thing, transform Position. Oh, it's all right there. We're gonna do that, except we're gonna change this. We want an equal sign there, and then we need to change it by. We wrote down. What did I write down? It was 3.8, and then we have to put F because it has a decimal. And we move down into here, and actually, what is that going to mean? So it's going to be transform position equals new. So pretty much the same thing. Again, we're not. I mentioned before that I'm typing everything in instead of copying. That x, and the only difference is the new value we're going to do is 3.8 and 0. Actually, these are negatives. Let me close that bracket. There we go. And this is actually supposed to be negative 3.8, not 3.8 itself. So let me do Control S. That should work. Now, if we go back into our game, there we go. Now our new values, now I can't go up and I can't go down. I can still go left and right infinitely, but now I am stopped down and right, so that works. So now we will go ahead and do the same thing, but for the x values. All right, so I already wrote out the if statement for the x. I wanted to show you the difference. You guys still can't see my mouse. So you'll notice here, it's different from up here. Now that's because, oops, that's because now we are manipulating the x, and we want y. When they hit that barrier, we don't want them to reset somewhere. We want them to stay where they're at on the y position. So that's the difference there. So I'll finish writing out the else if. Dot position dot x is going to be less than or equal to, and I believe this one's going to be, yeah, negative 9. Let's not forget the negatives this time. Close brackets, enter transform dot position equals new vector 3. Oh my God. And then we're doing, this was going to be negative 9, comma, transform dot position dot y, comma, space 0, close, and then there we go. Now, let me do Control S. Now this should all work. Let me go back. Now I cannot go past the left boundary. I can still go all the way up and down to the things that I set, and that's it. So that's how it works. Everything worked as intended. So that's pretty much it. That's all that I needed to do today. That's all this is going to be about, is setting boundaries on a two-player on a 2D plane. Again, this is a space shooter, so the idea is I just don't want to go too far one way or too far the other way, because that's just how it works. If you ever think of like Galaga and stuff, like they just can't go over. There are other, like I said, I could have done it to where if the player went to another point, so like let's say if I did 11 or negative 11, it reset to the other side. That would be like in Pac-Man, to where if you go through the side of the map, you just kind of appear on the other side. That's what that line of code would be, and that's just changing that. That's just resetting what those positions are in that transform dot position area. But again, I don't want that. I want my barrier set. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, put it in the chat. Email me, write me, whatever. I'll be glad to help. Thanks for watching. And next one, I'm not sure I'll do next. I'm just taking it piece by piece as I move through in the project for class. Oh, and I did make a change. If you can see on this main disk here, there, I did make these a little bigger so you can actually ideally read it. Because I noticed when I was watching it later on that you guys actually couldn't see that stuff. So I made that change. So cool. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.